Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy T for 365 Horror, and this is a horror movie discovery channel. I am just here to put as many horror movies on your watch list as possible. And today we're going to be looking at 6 brand new releases for you guys to watch and stream today. So let's get into it right now. Now we are going to get into the video, but before we do, I've got to remind you guys to please like and subscribe if you like this content. Also, this video is best watched with a movie tracker. I like to use Letterboxd. It's just the easiest way to keep track of the movies that you've seen and want to see. I also want to touch on the availability of these titles, as I have personally went to each one of the services and verified that these titles are available. And if you are having trouble seeing them, there is probably one of two reasons. One, you might be region locked. And the other reason is if you are using any of the alternative media sites or any of the free stuff, a lot of these movies just came out yesterday, so they won't be available on those sites for a couple days. And lastly, this is just a preview. These are not reviews and recommendations. As always, I've added chapters and timestamps in the description, so if you don't like any of the trailer reactions or any of the movies I've picked, you're always free to skip to the next one. And if you did want some reviews and recommendations, then I suggest you watch my Every Movie I Watched in a Month series, my You Should Watch series, or any of my movie list series. This here is just a little something for the diehards like me that are always looking for something new to watch. And with that, let's get right to the new movies. The first movie we're going to take a look at is a straight horror named The Tarot Curse, and this movie's available on Tubi.
She'll be expecting you.
After a tarot reading in New Orleans, a group of students are horrified to realize the cards are predicting their gruesome deaths, one by one. It is directed by Jason Wynn. Okay, so after watching the trailer for The Tarot Curse, this looks like a good kind of seal your fate horror. So right off the hop, I really enjoy these kind of play with fate, be careful what you wish for horror movies. Now, one of the big reasons I really do like these kind of twisted wish movies is because I like to see people's greed and selfishness have consequences, especially when it leads to some pretty bloody results. Now, one of the things that I really do like is the Circle of Friends vibe, and I hope that with a younger cast, we can get some good lewd jokes and roasts out of the film. Now, I really didn't see a ton of creeps and scares in this one, but with a kind of wider cast meeting their gruesome deaths one by one, I'm sure we're going to get some intense moments as they meet their end. Now, even though the story is pretty straightforward, I do like how it kind of deviates off this Final Destination style and introduces us to a different idea with some twisted wish action. Now, the acting didn't really look horrible, but my only wish is that when you do see the voodoo shaman character, I just felt like his acting was a little on the nose. It just felt a little on the nose. So I do hope that his character, which does seem to be a big part of this movie, doesn't really come off wooden or cheesy. To me, Tarot Curse doesn't really look too bad. So being that it is a free movie on Tubi, I think it's going to get a regular spot on my watch list.
One last trip, senior year?
Let's go, baby.
We want to see the real New Orleans. Your future awaits.
Next movie we're going to take a look at is a straight horror named Don't Make a Sound, and this movie's available on Tubi.
Don't make a sound. Everyone is going to kill us too.
When their car breaks down in the woods, 2 sisters become the hunted prey of a deranged killer who captures his victims on film. It is directed by J.T. Chris. Okay, so after watching the trailer for Don't Make a Sound, this one looks like an okay found footage horror. Now, one of the only things that really stuck out to me in the very short trailer is that at least the movie looks like it's pretty bloody, and overall, the aesthetic, it just had a very disturbing tone. And I do think it looks like something that could turn into an element that is raw and uncomfortable. Now, unfortunately, on the other side of the coin, the acting just looked subpar. A lot of the fear in the trailer felt forced, and even though we only got one line out of the kids, the acting, especially from them, just felt pretty wooden. Now, Don't Make a Sound pretty much looks like a mediocre watch. Unless you're a found footage fan like me, I would honestly kind of put it a little bit lower, but because I do try to watch every found footage, I think this one's going to get a regular spot on my watch list.
Their blood is for us.
Next movie we're going to take a look at is an action horror thriller named The Bayou, and this movie is available on Prime Video.
We gotta get out of here.
Vacation turns disaster when Houston, Kyle, and her friends escape a plane crash in the desolate Louisiana Everglades, only to discover that there's something way more dangerous lurking in the shallows. It is directed by Taneli Mustonen and Brad Watson. Okay, so after watching the trailer for The Bayou, this one looks like a decent survival animal horror. So for starters, I really do like survival horrors, and I really like the kind of circle of friends vibe that we got from this one right away. Now, I didn't see much when it came to traditional creeps and scares, but I did see some really good tension building, especially with the gator scenes, especially because you just have, with them kind of being in the shallows of the Everglades, I feel like the gator could just be under the water and pop out at any moment. Because of that, I really do think that the Everglades is like a good, nerve-wracking, unforgiving setting. And even though we don't see a lot of gore in the trailer, usually these action horrors tend to have a bunch of gore in them, so I do have faith that we'll see a bunch of it. Now, there's really nothing groundbreaking when it comes to the premise of this film, but I will say that the production looked good and the gator looked good. Now, there's nothing too out of the box with this one, but it does have a lot of elements I like, being it's a survival horror, and then with the production and the gator looking good, it looks like this movie could turn into be like a really kind of good, decent to good nail biter, so it's gonna get a regular spot on my watch list.
This is the largest wetland system in the entire U.S. What are the chances that they're gonna find us?
We have to walk.
Hey, stop. Guys, don't move.
Okay, the next movie we're going to take a look at is a drama horror romance named Inhuman Kiss 2, The Last Breath, and this movie is available on Apple TV. Follows how a man with very uncommon genetics and a half-demon woman fall in love. It is directed by Paphankorn Punchantarak. Okay, so after watching the trailer for Inhuman Kiss 2, this looks like a little bit of a meh romance horror. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of romance or comedy, but I've been wrong before for sure. Seeing As Your Monster was actually a pretty good film. And again, just nothing really excited me about this one. So something I didn't think was too bad was the premise. I mean, with the characters, you get like this Asian powder character and then the half-demon chick and they fall in love. And just with some of the kind of weird sequences and stuff you see, I could see the movie giving us like some really unique visuals. And I also thought that the movie looked pretty bloody, but I do think that you should expect more of kind of a character-driven, character interaction drama out of this one. And I especially feel like the movie is going to go full tilt, especially near the end of the trailer when I just heard the "Everything I Do" Bryan Adams type like power ballad as they like showed this love montage at the end of the trailer. So I'm going to say predictably, I'm not fully feeling Inhuman Kiss. And unless some of you guys tell me that this movie is like worth watching or really good, it's probably going to get a lower spot on my watch list.
ถ้าสิ่งที่เราเป็นมันทำให้เธอต้องตายเธอก็ยอมเหรอ
ผมไม่ตายหรอกเราสัญญา
The next movie we're going to take a look at is a straight horror named The Ceremony is About to Begin, and this movie is available on Prime Video. Madness, mayhem, and mummification rites ensue when a documentary filmmaker visits the rural commune of an ancient Egyptian-inspired cult to interview its enigmatic leader. It is directed by Sean Nichols Lynch. Okay, so after watching the trailer for The Ceremony is About to Begin, I thought this looked like a decent found footage cult horror. I really did enjoy the premise, and I thought that thematically it actually felt a little bit different. Nowadays, I just think that we don't often see too many things rooted in like an Egyptian mythos, especially like we used to see a lot more of it when I was a kid. So I did think that that was a little bit cool and different. Now for me, cults don't really creep me out too much, but I do think we could get a couple of good scares out of this. Now the only thing I saw that could really hold the film back is if the character building phase of the movie is really mundane. I find that sometimes a found footage could really suffer from that kind of character building part. And in this movie, I think it's really going to be exacerbated because if the whole point of him is to interview these cult leaders, unless they have really weird interactions and shit, really gets weird, then I think it could make for a boring movie before shit hits the fan, because I just didn't see the acting really hold up for this like super interesting character interaction phase. Now I know that kind of sounded like really convoluted, but basically what I'm just trying to say is in that beginning phase, I just have a feeling that it might be mundane, because with what we need from the characters, I'm just not sure that they're going to be able to pull it off. Now, either way, I know it kind of sounds like I just kind of went off on it, but that's not really what I was saying. I was just saying that there is a chance. So I do kind of like, again, some of the unique elements. It even looks like there's an actual mummy in the film, which is kind of cool because we just don't see that often. So the found footage fan in me that has to see every found footage is still going to give this movie a regular spot on my watch list.
So people keep asking me why I'm making this documentary, what my interest is in some hippie commune. I think the ethical thing to do is to be fully transparent.
All right, guys, last movie we're going to take a look at this week is a horror thriller named Night of Wrath, and this movie is available on Prime Video. A group of seemingly virtuous leaders are trapped in a haunted house by a madman threatening to ruin their lives by revealing their darkest secrets. It is directed by Robbie Bagley. Okay, so after watching the trailer for Night of Wrath, this looks like a little bit of a middle-of-the-road Wish version of Saw haunted house horror. So one of the things that I did like about the trailer was I did like kind of seeing this younger Circle of Friends cast, but on the other hand, I didn't really see the raunchiness that I really like to see out of this genre. I also like the idea, even though it's kind of played out, you just have the circle of friends and then a madman is kind of killing them off one by one, and they all have like a big secret that could ruin their lives, which means we could get a good variety of kills and just some good kind of shocking revelations through their dark pasts. Now, there's not too much more to say about this one because Night of Wrath doesn't really break any ground, but it does look like it could be a semi-fun thrill ride that's going to get a regular spot on my watch list.
Welcome, everyone. I'm afraid I've had to cancel your party. Each of you holds a secret that could ruin your life as you know it, and I happen to have proof of them all. You must overcome my 7 trials of fate scattered throughout the Nightmare on 13th before midnight.
Well, guys, that's going to do it for a bunch of new releases for you guys to watch and stream. I hope you like this content, and if you did find a couple of gems for your watch list, please leave me a like and subscribe. Now, if I had to make a couple of picks this week, it was just a mediocre week, so it is a little bit tough. But the first movie I'm going to select is The Bayou. I just thought that the film looked pretty good. I did like the kind of survival vibe. I liked the circle of friends. And I did think that the production in the Gator just looked really good. I thought that we might get some good kills out of it. So that's going to be my first pick of the week. And if I had to make a second pick this week, I know it's a little bit of slim pickings, but I think I'm going to go with the Tarot Curse. Again, I just thought it was good with this kind of, twisted wishes with, fate is catching up to them. I thought it also had a good kind of circle of friends cast, and with them dying one by one gruesome deaths, I'm sure we're going to get a good kill variety, some good anxiety kind of leading up to the kills, and I just really like the kind of the premise of the movie. So I do think it looks, although it looks light, I think it looks interesting, and that's going to be my second pick of the week. Well, guys, I'm out of here for real this time, as I have got a ton of movies to watch. If you made it this far into the video, I want to thank you. I appreciate you. I hope you guys have been taking really good care of yourselves, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
But if you can tell the story in the right way, nobody will be able to deny what we've done.